You are the passengers in a most uncommon elevator about to ascend into your very own episode of The Twilight Zone.
After MGM Studios opened at Walt Disney World back in 1989, Disney was looking to add a new e-ticket attraction to the young park. After many tried and failed concepts, they eventually settled on the idea of a drop tower ride, with a theme inspired by the 1960s TV show, The Twilight Zone. The ride was very successful upon opening, so Disney soon built two similar versions of the ride at Disney's California Adventure Park in Anaheim, California in 2004, and Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris in 2007. I grew up riding the California Adventure version of the attraction, and I loved its creepy twist that wasn't present on many other Disney rides. But once riding the Florida Original back in January, I came to the conclusion that it is definitely the best. The Tower of Terror is placed at the end of Sunset Boulevard at Disney's Hollywood Studios, which makes it the focus of the whole street. It is also the tallest structure in the entire park, which really gives it a looming presence over the whole area. In addition, the Moroccan-inspired design, which was originally done to blend in with the Morocco Pavilion at Epcot, really does add to the tower's creepy nature. The ominous spires at the top make the building seem threatening, as well as the purple lightning effects that cover nearly the entire face of the tower. And at night, the green letters add a whole new dimension to the look of the tower. As you enter the queue for the attraction, you will notice that you are being led through the front gardens of the hotel. These gardens wind around and go on for a while, as the attraction really takes its time leading you up to the tower. You have no choice but to look up at the hotel, as it seems to loom larger and larger every time you do. The doors at the top of the tower open just long enough for you to hear the screams of the guests on the ride, and to see them disappear back into the unknown, alluding to the horrors to come. Once you've entered the inside portion of the queue, the detail is exquisite, as it looks like the lobby has been abandoned for decades. You are then led into the library, where you are introduced to the story of 5 tourists who step into the very elevator that you are about to enter, and disappeared into the Twilight Zone, never to be heard from again. After you board the elevator, the doors close, and you are greeted by the ominous theme song from the Twilight Zone. You slowly rise into the hallway scene, where you see for yourself a reenactment of the 5 people getting struck by lightning and disappearing into thin air. The hallway fades to black, as stars light up the room and the window from the pre-show appears, only to shatter into pieces moments later. As the doors close, you rise once again. This time, you emerge into what first looks like a storage room, before the whole room turns to black, and you can see through the walls of the room into the Twilight Zone. Creepy imagery, such as a slowly ticking clock and an eyeball staring at your elevator car, surround you. Eventually, the whole room becomes even darker, as all of the stars in the room disappear and form into an elevator door, which opens up for you as you enter the drop shaft, where you will drop into the Twilight Zone. So, what makes this ride so special? The Tower of Terror in its simplest form is a drop tower, but it's so much more than that as well. The main reason the Tower of Terror stands out among the other attractions at Disney World, as well as the other versions of the ride around the world, is the pacing. Unlike most other rides, the Tower of Terror really takes its time in developing the scene at hand. there isn't always a lot happening. It utilizes silence and simple ambient sounds so well. The best example of this is the hallway scene. Here is the full hallway scene from the ride at Hollywood Studios. Compare that to the same scene at the California Adventure version of the attraction.
What happened here to dim the lights of Hollywood's brightest showplace is about to unfold once again. One stormy night long ago, 5 people stepped through the door of an elevator and into a nightmare. That door is opening once again, but this time, it's opening for you.
The version at Hollywood Studios utilizes quiet so much better in this scene. It knows that it's going for a creepy atmosphere, so it lets the ride build that atmosphere for itself. Instead of how the California Adventure ride seems to be going at a more brisk pace, with constant voiceover changing the overall mood of the scene. But then, there is the 5th Dimension Room, which is the main reason that the Hollywood Studios ride reigns supreme. You get to experience what it is like to enter into the Twilight Zone itself. The ride never goes over the top, it doesn't overwhelm you with audio or visual noise. It maintains a calm yet unnerving atmosphere as you travel through a room filled with a few creepy visuals and some ambient sounds, all of which is done on one of the first ever examples of trackless dark ride technology, adding to the feeling of not knowing where you are going. You then get the visual of entering the elevator shaft, which adds even more tension to the experience because you know the drops are about to come, you just don't know when. Compare all of this to the mirror scenes at the DCA and Paris versions. It really shows how the Hollywood Studios Tower of Terror is willing to take its time and let itself develop. What makes this ride so unique is that it's one of the only Disney rides that keeps this creepy and somber energy to it. Besides the first half of the Haunted Mansion, and maybe the first half of Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean, there's really not much else like it. Recently, it seems that Disney has become obsessed with packing as much action into their rides as possible, that they don't even take their time developing the scenes anymore. Rise of the Resistance, for example, which is an amazing ride that I absolutely love and an incredible feat of engineering, is so focused on getting from one scene to the next and jam-packing every scene with as much sensory overload as possible, you can't take in everything the ride has to offer. I know that's not the point of the ride, and it serves as a great, thrilling experience, but it feels like every ride that Disney has made of late has this same type of quick and chaotic energy to it. Another example of this is the transformation of California Adventure's Tower of Terror into Guardians of the Galaxy. While I clearly didn't think that the DCA tower was nearly as slow and tension-filled as the Hollywood Studios one, it at least tried to give off that same energy. But Disney scrapped it for Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a great ride that I personally love, but it shows that they don't care as much about building up tension in their rides and are more focused on getting quick and exciting thrills. Guardians is amazing, at least the inside is, but it starts off by blasting you with classic rock 2 seconds into the ride, and it only gets crazier from there. And I'm not saying these rides are bad, but they just don't have that same classic Disney feeling that the Tower of Terror gives off. And maybe I'm just a sucker for creepy and unnerving atmosphere, but the Tower of Terror is personally my favorite ride at Disney World. While there are others that have more advanced effects and are probably more thrilling overall, they will never quite have the same great ambiance and subtlety of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like and leave a comment down below telling me what your favorite Disney World ride is. And you can tell me how stupid I am for liking Tower of Terror more than Rise of the Resistance. Also, if you want to see more stuff like this, go ahead and subscribe for some exceptionally mediocre content from the Theme Park Zone.